When I moved into the building, they told me the unit across the hall was vacant. Old tenant moved out 2 years ago, never came back for their stuff, so I figured it'd be quiet. And at first it was. The building itself is nothing special. 3 floors, thin walls, a little run down but cheap. Hallways smell like bleach and something older. I didn't mind. After the breakup, I just wanted silence. No drama, no roommates. And for the first 2 weeks, I got that. Mostly. Then I started hearing sounds, footsteps, not constant, just now and then. Late at night, a shuffle, a drag, something brushing the inside of the door across the hall. I told myself it was plumbing, or maybe the building settling, until I heard a voice. It was faint, not words, just the rhythm of speech, a mumble, low, familiar, like someone talking to themselves. I listened through my peephole. Nothing. The door across from mine looked the same as always. Dusty knob, uncollected mail slot, yellowing tape across the keyhole. But once, I swear, I saw a light flicker underneath, just for a second. The next day, I asked the super. She was watering the half-dead plant in the lobby. I said, "Hey, is someone staying in 3B now?" She didn't even look up. "Nope. Empty." I pushed. "You sure?" I heard movement. She paused. "Probably you. Sound travels weird here." That night, I left my own hallway light off. Just watched. Sat quietly by my door. 1 a.m. Nothing. 1:30. Nothing. 2 o'clock. A sound. Click. Like a lock turning. I held my breath. The door across the hall creaked open a few inches, and then slowly closed again. No footsteps, no light, no voice. I tried to sleep after that, but every noise made me flinch, even my own. The next morning there was something new. A note slid under my door. No envelope, just plain paper folded in half, inside in neat handwriting. "You're quieter than the last one." I like that. No name, no room number, nothing, just that. I checked the hallway. No one. I knocked on the door across. No answer. I tried the knob. Still locked. Later, I knocked on the neighbor next to me, 3A, an older guy, kept to himself. I asked, "Hey, do you know who's in 3B? He blinked. "3B? No one. Been empty for years." "You ever hear anything?" He hesitated, then said, "Once. Years ago. I thought it was rats, or something worse." He didn't elaborate, just shut the door. That night, I installed a motion-activated camera, discreet, facing directly at 3B. Left it running while I slept. At 2:11 a.m., the hallway lit up on my screen. The door opened just enough for someone to slide a hand through. They didn't come out, just placed something gently on the ground, then the hand retreated. Door shut. I waited until morning, opened my door, and saw a small item on the floor, a key, old, brass, cold to the touch, tied with a red thread. I took it inside. I didn't know what to do. Was it for 3B? Was I supposed to use it? That night the sounds were louder, footsteps pacing, breath right up against the door, like someone was listening on the other side. I sat frozen. Then, a whisper. Low. Hoarse. Right outside. "You're awake." I didn't answer. I didn't move. And after a few minutes, it was quiet again. But I didn't sleep. Not at all. In the morning, I taped the key to the inside of my closet. Out of sight. But that night, the noises didn't come from the hallway. They came from inside my walls. Scratching, dragging. A voice saying, "Come across." I didn't know what "come across" meant. Across the hall? Across the wall? Across what? It stayed in my head all day, repeating like a whisper. Not a request, not a threat, just an invitation. I left the apartment that morning. took my laptop, worked from a coffee shop. Didn't come back until after 9 p.m. Even from the stairwell, something felt off. The hallway was too quiet. No hum from the light fixtures, no sound from upstairs, just stillness. Then I saw it. The door to 3B, wide open. No signs of forced entry, no tape on the lock, just standing there like it had always been open. I stood outside my own door watching it. Something about the dark inside didn't look natural. It was too flat. Like the light refused to reach it. I should have left, gone back down, called someone. But I didn't. I stepped forward. The floor creaked once under my foot, and the sound was swallowed instantly by the air inside. The layout was a mirror of my place, but empty. No furniture, no dust, no signs anyone had ever lived there, except a single wooden chair, placed in the exact center of the living room, facing the doorway, and directly behind the chair, on the wall, a tall mirror, framed in deep, nearly black wood, carved edges, too clean to be forgotten. It didn't match the space, didn't belong, and yet it reflected the room perfectly, except for one thing. The hallway behind me was gone. In the mirror, there was no open door, no light, only blackness. I took a step closer. The chair remained empty, but the darkness in the mirror behind me seemed to shift, waver, then a figure, a shape, leaning in from that black hallway, no face, just skin and motion, fluid, slow, not coming toward me, mimicking me, but slightly delayed. When I moved my arm, it followed. When I turned my head, it tilted the other way, like a child learning to copy, but not quite getting it right. I turned around, fast. Nothing there. But when I looked back at the mirror, my reflection was gone. The chair was still there. So was the mirror, but the room it showed was empty. I left, didn't close the door, didn't look back, ran straight into the stairwell down to the lobby. The next morning I tried to tell the super. We walked up together. She brought the keys. But when we reached the third floor, the door to 3B was shut tight. Dust around the frame, tape still unbroken. She turned to me, annoyed. "You dragged me up here for this?" I pointed at the lock. "Then who opened it yesterday?" She shrugged. "This unit's been sealed since 2021. You're the only one on this floor." After she left, I stood alone in front of the door. Tried the knob, locked solid. I put my ear to the wood. Nothing. Back in my apartment, I checked the key I had hidden. The old brass one from earlier. It was gone. In its place, taped inside my closet, was a new piece of paper, same handwriting. "You looked." That's all I needed. That night, I taped over every vent, closed the blinds, left every light on, didn't sleep. Couldn't. Because just after 3 a.m., the mirror in my closet was turned. It had always faced sideways. Now it faced me. I stared into it for a long time. At first, I saw myself. Then, not quite. The smile was a little too forced. The eyes, not blinking. It wasn't copying anymore. It was watching. I turned it toward the wall, draped a towel over it. But by morning, the towel was on the floor. And on the mirror's glass, a message written from the inside. "One of us has to move." I called in sick, looked for hotels, even thought about leaving town for good. But something stopped me. Not fear, instinct. If I left, I felt like it could follow, like it wanted me gone so it could take my place. Not the apartment, me. That night, I sat by the door, chair wedged under the knob, kitchen light flickering overhead. No sleep. At 3:11, the sound came again, not from the hall, not from inside the mirror, from under my bed. I didn't move, didn't breathe. And then a whisper. "If you won't go." I'll wear your quiet. In the morning, my voice was hoarse. Though I hadn't spoken, my mirror was clean, too clean, wiped from both sides, and in the corner, drawn in the fog of breath. I'm already practicing, so I'm still here. Lights on, no mirrors uncovered. But every night I hear footsteps, pacing on the other side of my wall, and every few hours they stop, right at the spot where our apartments connect. And something knocks, slow and patient, just once. Then waits, because it knows I'm listening, and it knows. Eventually, I'll answer.